Kunywa maji. Aisa kama hiyo song iko kwa haina copyright nitaweka hiyo part ya mwisho.
Hi guys, welcome back to our YouTube channel. This is the Faith Family channel, and today, this topic for so long, for so long, we've always been asked, are you the Proverbs 31? Or are you the Proverbs 31? Are you the ideal woman? It's usually woman. So
but you guys have made this channel about the woman, everything.
Woman. What about the man?
For the first time
who
in
is
a
the
room,
ideal man?
for the first time in a room, the gents, we are the ones dominating the environment.
We must be heard.
We must be heard. The boy child
will be heard.
Boy child mumia sana.
So today we are talking
But
about.
still, wasichana mumia sana. But anyway.
Yeah, I'm doing it.
So
Squeezy like to the girl child.
Eh, bana.
Anyway,
Yeah.
I'm here to hear what the ideal man is. So
Yes.
But it's not to be a rebel. We are not only today we are talking about the ideal man.
Man, not us.
I did not ask, guy.
Ideal men out there.
Ideal men out there.
For you to be a real man.
But anyway,
Wait,
take it over.
you see, Ari, to make things worse, we are talking about the ideal man, and then Stacy quotes a verse that she's talking about a woman.
Exactly. Girl
Have
child.
You just
Have
said
I
Proverbs
quoted?
31. Like,
No, I
Proverbs 31 is talking about
was
woman.
saying that so
You're not
many
even trying to check.
times, it has always been about who's the Proverbs 31. Are you the Proverbs 31? Now I want to know who's the ideal man.
You want to know?
Yeah.
Oh.
Because so many times it's, are you the ideal woman? Are you the Proverbs 31 that we talk about, or that the Bible says? So now today I'm here to listen to what an ideal man is. I'm here to fight these people. I'm here to represent all the girls. So yes.
Though, okay,
She's
before
one
we
of the
start,
two.
before we start discussing men, there is okay. I normally tend to feel like we are normally harsh to ladies. Like everything is normally judged. Like if if we talk about dressing, how does the woman dress? If we talk about caring about the home.
Exactly.
The
That's why
woman.
wasichana naumia.
It's
No,
because they
like you people have a lot to do in society that
the expectations are here.
But
yeah you see,
again,
and you're delivering here. You're delivering
before
here.
we go further,
Yeah,
who's the head of the
expectations
family?
are here, and then you guys
Who's the
are
head of the
delivering
family?
here.
Who's the head of the family?
big,
It's
okay,
the man,
it's the
but
man.
still, we'll still look at the woman.
let me give
So,
let me
I'm
give
here-
him
You know,
Girls,
I had
I'm
to-
here
let
to
me-
represent
no,
you. This
let me
man
give-
is letting me down.
let me give you a theory. Let me give you a
theory.
theory. Let me give you a theory. The creation story. God started by creating. Hey, Sierra. God started day 1. Day 1, day 2, day 1, day 2, day 3, day 4, day 5, day 6, day 7. Sir. Hey, like back, forth, sir. At least day 1.
Action.
Lights. I mean, day and night.
Hey, until lights. Okay, so day and
Yeah,
day
night.
2.
Day two sky.
And vegetation like plants and all. So, next day, day 4.
Sun and stars.
Uh-huh.
And then they're saying you.
That is any day.
Day 5.
5.
Day 5 was animals, sea creatures and birds.
And then day 6 was animals and man.
Then day 7, supper. Just rested.
Yeah.
Why were you asking this?
So no,
What
like
point are you trying to do?
relax.
The point is,
Okay,
So one thing, as we progress, God is increasing the intensity of like from basic to complex, right? Then who was created first? God created Adam first.
Yeah.
Then he created.
Yes. It wasn't woman, it was man.
Listen.
Yeah.
So we agree. God is coming from less complex to complex. So man is created first. Then out of man, God creates. And
Let me just remind
not
you
finished
something.
my
Let me remind
I
you
haven't finished
something.
my
Let
theory.
me tell you mine now.
So,
Let me say this. Yeah. God finished his creation on the 6th day where he created man. And then later on, he thought and saw it fit that man should have a companion. So before you start saying, oh, women superiorities,
no, you listen what I'm trying to say. So,
Even
though, I'm actually even trying to defend you guys and even part. Like these people are so insecure, man.
Who said we are insecure? It's because you guys are sort of attacking.
I'm not attacking you. I'm actually I'm actually.
We should put a fire emoji here.
Wow, sour. So, man is created from soil. Eve is created from man. Man's rib.
Like it's like special.
Wow.
Yani I'm from a man's rib, but also made
of soil. Hajapata rib yake bado. So
who said?
Hey.
Oh goodness.
Okay,
things
so
that you make sure.
Man, so I'm assuming woman is being created from a much more refined product. So umepata? So meaning woman.
No.
Meaning,
before you continue, I just want to point out something. Thing is, today the forum is all about men, but men will still consider women. Wow, we're so special. I haven't taken away from that topic. So if you're talking about women, we change the topic.
Okay, so woman is created from a much more refined material. So our view is expected. With the great responsibility comes.
With the great power comes great
responsibility. So expectations zetu tumewekea hapa. Alafu nini na deliver hapa. So that is why more judgment falls upon you.
Moving on swiftly.
So,
who's an ideal
moving
man?
on swiftly. So to the men, we are here to be there. We don't have much responsibility in society. Provide, be the head.
Really?
And respect it that we are the head of the family and God created us to be the head of the family.
Wait.
So who's an ideal man? Melvin, take over.
Any objections? The man is the head of the family? None. So
are we disputing the Bible?
No, I was just asking you, tunaweza kuwa tumekaa.
Nataka niseme women empowerment. Aya, Melvin.
So, an ideal man, according to the Bible, there's no ideal man.
Who said?
There's an ideal.
But there's an ideal man. Adam was ideal until they came along.
You know what I have to say about that? Men are not smart.
No, you were created as a complex being. That is why I started with that story.
And the reason why you're not created first is because God did not want your advice on creating. Okay. We are digressing a lot.
You know what?
We get back to the topic.
Who's an ideal man?
Who's an ideal man?
An ideal man.
Me a question. I want them to think about deeply.
We are talking about
I want to ask them and let them think about it deeply. They don't have to answer me because are you an ideal man? Think about it.
I am.
Are you?
I am an
okay,
ideal man.
Sarah.
Okay. Let me help Melvin break down the discussion topic. As the only female on the seats today, how will you describe an ideal? Okay, all of us will give our definitions of ideal men, but not because you're the only female. Ladies first.
Only Bible.
Hey,
let's have a Bible.
She's setting the standards high, very high.
But I'll say this: that the man has to fulfill all the basic things that a man has to fulfill, in simpler terms. So whether you're a brother, whether you're a son, whether you are a guka, Sukuru. Whether you are what else? A father, who else? Man, a boy, Men wanakuja in what forms? You can be a husband, you can be a father, you can be a...
There is a boy, brother, boyfriend,
uncle,
and husband. Then
Grandfather.
and the grandparents.
And grandson.
Yeah.
Anyway,
grandson
we're just, yeah. Anyway, a man needs to fulfill basic things that a man has to. Men are built to relate to physical attributes. Yeah. Men have muscles, muscular chest.
Men have twice
broad chest.
Have twice the number of muscles the women have.
Yeah. So if you think about that, a man is supposed to protect. Whether you're a son, a father, a brother, you need to protect in the setting that you. I think I've used the word setting today so many times, but in the area that you are in. So, like if you're a son and you have a sister, protect your sister. Husband, protect your family. Grandfather, protect your family still. Uncle, do your duty as an uncle. You need to protect. You need to provide. And that's another weird topic. Difficult providing. Providing. No. Providing, I mean, provide for your family. Like, say Mambia na Elvin nitumie pesa yako. What are you providing for me? Why are you providing for me? Anyway, so
Bethe tumelipiwa watu wawili sio wawili.
Tumelipiwa watu wawili.
Kuna mtu
tunatoa moja.
Mimi na sisi tumelipia moja, wewe umelipia moja. Mimi ndo nimelipa twice. Wewe umelipia moja. Wewe sisi umelipa fair. Hata fair umelipa fair. Anyway, so
no, we're not repairing fair for bad. It was for a good cause. You know, someone might be listening here. I forgot. No. So, thing is, the basic attributes that a man has to have. A man should lead. A man should be the head. Take up that role. A man should provide. A man should be the protector. A man should. What else? You know,
I feel
those are the basic things that I think. Yeah. Should love.
Oh.
Yes. I remembered. Yeah. Corinthians.
Hey. Okay. How we did that last. You
Corinthians chapter 13, 1 Corinthians 13. There's another verse that talks about marriage and how a man should love the wife. So, yeah.
Point taken.
Okay.
So
then with your ideal man.
I feel like the ideal man, for you to be an ideal man, you have to be independent.
No, describe yourself.
I describe myself.
Describe yourself.
First. You guys say that you are ideal men.
Yes.
In what sense?
In what sense?
In what sense?
So we are ideal. See, for you to be ideal, you have to be independent first. I'm not independent, but I'm independent.
You can be independent in your mind,
emotionally
see in terms of
independent.
financially, but like
independent on yourself emotionally. You don't need this money.
All this other.
you don't need this other agenda.
No hate.
But let me tell you guys something. Again, there's a reason why God said that women are companions. Actually, says these people are becoming hard, like they're pretending they're hard, but
deep down.
It's okay, deep down. We know.
No, but you still have to be independent for you to be ideal.
Okay.
You have to be smart.
True.
Smart. You always go now.
Heavy.
Yeah, you can't let them train you because they have more reasons to start looking down upon us. You have to.
Points dropping.
Okay.
You have to again be, let's say, you have to be willing to put in the work. For you to be the ideal man, put in the work. They look down upon us. If you let them
upon you.
You have to be willing to do the work. Put in the work for you to be ideal man. You do the work. Usingoje ati time will make my ideal man.
Wait, sasa mkisema nasema sote mnataka niseme nini?
Another thing, be your own mind. Job, be your own mind.
Wow.
Be smart.
Wow.
Ouch.
Director, no, you want to disgrace me as not being an ideal man. But anyway, okay. An ideal man for me is one, being decisive. Two, being independent in all sense. You know, independence also means that you're able to make. No, yeah, being decisive, being just, um, knowing when, yeah, being an ideal man is a man who's able to, it's like being vulnerable at the right time. Being vulnerable at the right time. Like,
Kwanza hiyo vulnerability. Oh
I
man.
mean, like the previous episode we were talking about, I don't know why I even did not mention this on the previous episode. There's this notion that we have about men not being able to like open
Yeah,
up.
but there I was feeling it.
But you were feeling it. Hey, so an ideal man should also be able to know what emotions to put at what time and what not to expose at what time. Always end up at because I'm vulnerable, uanze kulialia hapa kila mahali. No, like you should know what to do at what time, like when to be vulnerable, when to be strong, when to pull the hard decisions, when to be soft, you know.
Hey, this guy is really low.
So
we are
the ideal
At least no, at least
So,
wanaume vizuri.
okay, so Nelvin, take it away.
I have another question. Do you still think there are ideal men in the world?
Ideal man. I mean, why ask such a question when we are seated
Uh,
here?
Apart from us.
Apart from us.
How they are ideal men?
So Stacy, do you think there are
Do you think
ideal men out there?
I'll say this. That
This is a lot of
there's so many ideal men out there, and there's so many not ideal. I don't know. Yeah, there's so many not ideal men. Like men who are not ideal or right or good or whatever. And I'm saying that because of how the society is. So many times, like for you guys, I don't know, when you're growing up, when you're trying to maybe enter a relationship, you want to be like unataka gangster points and you want to look like the gangster. So you try to change and be the bad boy, forgetting that good boys always win at the end. So these ideal men are the ones that win.
somewhere.
Nice guys.
The ideal men are the ones who win at the end. But before the ideal man is found, how Bikurutu? They're everywhere. I just find that they're everywhere. So yeah. So that yes, there are ideal men, but there are people who are not ideal. If you see those people, run. Don't look back. Just run. Anyway.
Let me ask this question. Do you think the ideal man varies for different people?
Yeah.
Like ideal for you is not ideal for me.
Mm-hmm.
How? Like, for example, we've talked about some character traits that we'll expect any man to have, like be responsible, be. So, for example, if they take responsibility, you find a guy who's irresponsible is the wrong word. Like, okay, a guy who's not able to groom the house. Groom the house is the thing. Like, he's not good at housekeeping, but kwa nini inaenda relationship tena?
But I get what you're trying to ask. I'll say that the basic things that an ideal man has to have, basic things, and it cuts across all men. But when it comes to like these things of, I don't know, provision, the men who can't provide, maybe they are physically handicapped, maybe they've lost their jobs because of circumstances, assuming we have corona and the wife has to, work for the family. It doesn't mean that it makes the man less. It's just that for this circumstance that we have or that we are in, I will have to fit into this particular shoe, but you're still the man. It doesn't take away from the man that you are. Yeah.
Hizo ni points nyingi. Hadi amesummarize nilikuwa nataka kusema. So my thinking, my point was At times unaweza pata some things that a man is expected to do and is not able to do does not degrade you and make you become less a man. You see, like when you talk about hizo vitu za what is the term for this, gender based violence, like most men become insecure because of unapata you're not able to fulfill one thing that makes you become insecure, and then for example you're not able to provide, so you start becoming reckless. Unakuja kwa nyumba, you want to punish your wife into making her give you what she has so that you provide for the family. You get it? So like it's, and the ideal man needs to understand that it's fine if you're not able, but it doesn't mean that you lazy around so that you lazy. Pia ukae. You see, but at times you need to accept that at times you cannot, hauwezi kuwa una make kufika hiyo standard. So accept that you're not able to reach to that standard that that is required of you. Don't push yourself too much.
True. And do you think there's a difference between an ideal man and a perfect man? Is there a perfect man?
I'm not perfect man.
There's no perfect man.
God is.
So there's a difference between being a
You can't say
perfect
God
man.
is a
God is
man.
not man.
But God makes us perfect. So if you think about that, it's like if I'm going to enter a union with someone, it means that I find this person, in as much as yes, they have like they're not, I don't say they're not good enough. That doesn't make sense. Like they have their weaknesses, yes. In as much as yes, they have their weaknesses, you'll still find them perfect, even in their weaknesses, because you've accepted those weaknesses before you enter that union. So, yeah.
The ideal man.
So in short, the perfect man.
Everyone can be their own
Everyone
shit.
has their weaknesses.
There's no perfect man, but there are ideal men out there.
Yeah, you
There
just
are no
choose the
perfect
person
men.
who, you just be the person who.
By the way, why have we based this conversation on being an ideal man? Man refers to both men and women.
We're talking about
Right
an
now.
ideal man, not
Today it's us.
woman.
It's us.
Today it's us. Today we are not
Leo ni siku ya wanaume.
Yeah,
By the way,
yeah.
this should be posted on International Men's Day.
Tunangoja mpaka next time. Hey.
No, it's October.
It's October. I don't know.
You don't know. So
That is the match. That is when you understand that men in this society
we are looked down upon.
You remember this?
They have
This
more days
Father's
than
Day
us.
was attached to, like it's attached to one of the toilets. They imagine.
The disrespect the women have for us.
Sorry.
But
Anyway.
it's fine.
Men are loved.
Anyway.
We love ourselves. So do you think there's an ideal man in the Bible?
Ideal man in the Bible.
Yeah.
Give an example of an ideal man.
Yeah.
Oh, I wanted to give an example of as an instance whereby a man had a shortcoming that that the other person, the significant other, became influential. The story of Moses, when Moses was not able to, did not have his son circumcised, and the wife being decisive, circumcised the son on behalf of the father. So like, at times, the ideal man might not reach the standards that he's supposed to reach, but because of the surrounding and because of the people this person surrounds himself with, he is able to reach the goal that is required of him.
And also, just to add, one thing I see from the Bible is that God calls us, not us.
All of us.
No. God calls men in the Bible to be
Hey.
More
ideal
than
men.
women.
I think
And-
we love these people so much that even when it's our turn to even love ourselves, but it's not include. Hey, God loves these men, calls these men.
So when God calls men, He makes them ideal and relevant, and good for the society, good for whichever circumstance that God has that God has called them to. So, for example, Joseph was called
Joseph is a really good
to be the father of Jesus. And in this circumstance, he had the right to leave Mary because, I mean, how do you have a child and you claim to be a virgin? You get. So, for Joseph, he was called to that. We have Hosea. He was called to marry a harlot. I mean, he had an option of marrying someone else, but God said, this is the person I have given you. We look at Job. Job was an ideal husband, in as much as, yes, his wife was running her mouth, saying, telling him to denounce God and things like that. He still stood his ground. And that is, those small things that we see from all of these characters. We learn so much from Joseph, from Moses, from Abraham, like all of these characters. There's so much to learn. We see the last example I want to give is David. David being a father. And in him being a father, we see that when the problem is I don't want to misquote the Bible, but when there was war and he was fighting against his son, he asked his soldiers not to kill his son Absalom, yeah? So when these people came back, the only thing he asked was, what was the question? Is the young man safe? Yeah, that was the question. Is the young man safe? And that just, I don't know how
it shows you how man is loving. I mean, yeah, this was
he wasn't just loving, but he was being a father. Like, this is my child, this is the responsibility God has given me, and I'm taking responsibility of it. In as much as, yes, he had a right to attack his son, he chose to still love him, to care for him. And so, from all of these people, as Nelvin was asking, yes, we learn that the people who are very ideal in whatever circumstance that they're not perfect, but they're still ideal.
I think,
yeah,
the ideal man.
No,
I think now you've even put it much more clear. I think the ideal man is one who's able to learn from all these other events and become, and someone who's, it's a man who's trying to be Christ-like. That is the best definition I'll give for an ideal man.
Yes.
Like someone who's looked at all these stories that the Bible gives us, and he's, in as much as we all have our own weaknesses, we all have our back steps, like kuna zile tu vitu unajipatanga tu unafanya without you wanting, but you are still striving to become this perfect being, this perfect Christ that Christ is teaching us to be. I think that's the best definition you can give for a perfect man.
Yeah, by the way. So you see according to Apostle Paul, in one of his letters, he said that Christ is the perfect man. One of his letters, I don't remember.
The perfect man.
He said Christ is the perfect man. So I think for you to be an ideal man, try and live up to the standards of Jesus.
Be like Jesus. Yeah. Will Jesus do whatever you do?
Yeah, ask yourself that.
Ask yourselves that.
Hey, violence.
But yeah, I think
so. As a man, before you do anything, ask yourself, what will Christ do? What will Jesus do? WWJ. WWJD. Yeah. I think we have given this letter.
Yeah, I was ready. What website is this? And then I realized there's no other W, so it's WW. So
you're not judging.
I don't know where we left off at, but I was saying that when it comes to finding an ideal man, we need to look at how God called those people. So I was just basically explaining how these various characters in the Bible were called by God to, be the man in whatever situation they were called upon. And I finished off by saying that good men always, in capital capital AWLAYS, always finish last. So when you're out there playing and
Mhm.
having all sorts of fun, just remember, good men will always finish last. And to all the girls, please.
Wait for the last guy. You have
No,
to play around.
not necessarily wait for
Testing
the
the
next
waters.
guy, but just when you're looking for a partner or whatever you're looking for, just make sure this person is a man of God, because if this person is a man of God, trust me, they will fulfill all of these things you're talking about. And if not all, at least majority of these important things that are there, rather than someone who's just there for gains and whatever, and then you're just there and then suddenly we hear, oh, Nairobi School of Character Development did this to me. No, guys, you
Anyway.
can prevent that. So yeah.
The definition I gave again on the ideal man. This is a man who's striving day in, day out to be the Christ-like, to be Christ-like, to be, I think, we say, the perfect man is God. So, the man isn't perfect. We all have our own weaknesses. But being the ideal man means that each day you're striving towards this one goal, the goal of being like God, to be like Christ. With all our weaknesses, each day striving, each day make a mistake, make amends, and strive to become the ideal man. We're not playing our trumpets, but
It's true.
the ideal man.
Yeah. Finishing up, we looked at that.
We saw
We
that.
saw that Christ in the Bible is the perfect man. And for us as ideal men, for us to be perfect men,
No,
We
as
look
for
up-
them, unataka kusema us,
Us.
pia niko hapa. So
no,
I
us.
didn't
No,
try to
no,
define
but
myself as
generally,
a
but
girl. I'm joking,
we
I'm
are
joking,
all
I'm
striving.
joking.
We are all striving
joking.
to be perfect,
to be perfect.
Yeah.
in our own ways.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
And to be perfect men, even for
Men, when the Bible talks about men, it talks about both.
Yeah.
Combined, yeah. So yeah, for you to be the ideal man, we live up to the example of Jesus, and Jesus will. No,
No.
If for you to be the ideal man, ask yourself, what will Jesus do?
In that situation.
Oh yeah, and then we say that.
No,
And
but
then we-
another
then
thing.
WWJD.
JD,
Yeah.
Hashtag WWJD.
Yeah.
We should start the
Yeah.
hashtag. But again, in the same point,
Yeah.
something I forgot to mention is, with all our weaknesses, let us learn. We know we're not saying being vulnerable enough to know when I cannot do something and ask for help. So like in our own weaknesses, man is weak. So let us be vulnerable enough. Most people in our generation too, we have this notion to be tumejiamini sana, that we are not humble enough to ask God.
Points.
Ati you're in this situation, you need help and you're not able to ask help. Let us be vulnerable enough to ask help, not just from fellow men, but to ask help from God Himself.
Yeah.
When you're faced with a situation that is tempting, be vulnerable enough to ask God. Not even be vulnerable, be open enough to. As in, it's not
Be
be
honest with
honestly
yourself. You've got to be
vulnerable,
honest.
it's being
Yeah.
honest
Being
with
honest
yourself
with
and
yourself.
no, I can't, and it's only God who can strengthen me at this point to do what is right.
Yeah. And that's that on being an ideal man.
Yeah, what will
Hope you
Christ
enjoyed, and hope you're an ideal man.
ideal
Don't
man
forget to
subscribe.
subscribe. Yeah. Comment if you think you're an ideal man like us.
Hey, if you think you're an ideal man,
You can
comment. comment.
Yeah.
Anything
And-
else we left on an ideal man?
Pride won't let this man to reply. I know you. You won't comment.
And also share to other ideal
You
men.
can prove me wrong by commenting, Basi.
And
Okay.
that's
That's a
we've
trap.
been being Faith Family, the ideal men of the society. Hey, nimesema ideal men sana.
We'll see you next week, Monday, 10 a.m.
Time like this.
Bye. Bye.